So by contrast to bottom-up design, because there are some people who maybe personality-wise don't always plan everything ahead in advance. Maybe they like to just tinker with something and then get a bright idea and decide that they want to use that somewhere else. This is an example that we kind of described earlier. So what you might do is you might want to have a function that finds matching pieces of text and then replaces it with something else. That's something that most word processors have built into them. So here, just sort of to get things started, we might do an integer. This is a function that's going to return an integer. This is pose first for first position. We're going to have a string. There's a string we're going to look at. And then we have a string that we're going to search. So like the string to search might be the text of an entire book. The string to find might be a specific word, such as, I don't know, anti-disestablishmentarianism. That word, I'm sure, comes up a lot in most standard texts, at least if you're talking about 19th century British politics and the royal family. Other than that, probably not. But anyway, so then what you would do is you'd have another function for replacing the string. So you do the string to modify. So again, maybe you're going to modify anti-disestablishmentarianism. You're going to find the start position. You're going to find the end position of however long that word is. And then you're going to have another string to insert. And maybe you're going to change anti-disestablishmentarianism to pro-reestablishmentarianism or who knows. Anyway, probably words that are a lot shorter than that. But anyway, so here's a function to find the first position. Here is where you would replace the string. And again, we don't have all the details. We just have, these are the stub functions here. And then basically what you do here is you would like do a search and replace. So like you have the string that you're going to change. You have the old string and you have the new string. And so the first one just finds the position of where the word is. Here we're going to look at string to modify and replace anything at the starting position. And then here it's going to replace the first occurrence with the new string and then returns true or else false if it didn't actually change anything. So these are just stub functions. They don't actually do anything at the moment. If we fill in more details, we can kind of do some more with this. So like for the search and replace function, we might have an integer for its starting position, and then that's going to come from the position first, and that's going to do the old string and the string to modify. And then if the start position equals -1, we're going to return false. So basically the smallest start position you can have is 0. If you get something that is negative, that basically is invalid. So it's going to stop the search right there. And then we'll have an integer for the end position, and that's going to be the start position plus the size of the string. And then here you've got this replace string here. So again, these are stub functions. And so this is calling another function that at the moment doesn't do anything. This is a stub function. And so, I mean, you can run it, and if it compiles, I mean, it won't do anything, but if it compiles and doesn't complain at you, then you know at least that the stub of what your function is behaves correctly. And so the call of the function is going okay. And then you can actually fill in the details to make sure that the function itself does what you need it to. And then again, we can just sort of build from the bottom up. So here, so it's like, what can I do with what I have? It's a little more versatile And this is actually kind of the basis of making a function library, because you're not necessarily planning everything in advance. You're just sort of tinkering with things and checking things and trying to come up with something that might be useful in lots of situations. And then you might even get a bright idea for like what you might actually want to do with it. But for right now, you're just sort of tinkering with it. And so like here, we've got this search and replace all. So instead of, so this is where we're doing something new. So with what we have, we can not just be satisfied with replacing one occurrence of the word anti-disestablishmentarianism in a book. Maybe we want to replace every occurrence of the word anti-disestablishmentarianism in the text of a book. And so, and if you've used a word processor like Microsoft Word, it actually has this very functionality. You can replace word, you can find words, you can replace them one by one, or there's even a button that just will replace everything all at once. And so here we're going to search and replace all. We've got the string to modify, we've got the old string and the new string. Notice these are passing by reference because once you put the string that you're changing, you don't necessarily have to repeat that over and over again. You can just have it stored in one place. And so then here we basically just got a while loop, and it's going to run our search and replace thing. And it's just going to keep going through the entirety of the text. And so we run this. And again, at the moment, it's not going to do much because these are stub functions. But the good news is we compiled it and the compiler didn't complain. So what we have so far is valid. It's calling functions that at the moment don't do anything. And you would just sort of keep building from the bottom up until you make something that accomplishes what you would like it to.